great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So Drifthouse was the brainchild of renowned celebrity chef David Burke. What made him come back to the Jersey Shore?
Well, David Burke is he's a Jersey native, grew up in the area, and he's always kind of been fascinated with the area and wanting to be a part of the food scene here. And this was just a great opportunity for him to team up with a really, really well-known family in the area, the Stavolas, and they make a great partnership here.
Now you've got a pretty good background as well. You were a chop chef. You had your own popular restaurant in Long Branch, Tre Amici. What are you going to be doing for David?
Well, like you said, I've had a lot of different experiences throughout my career. I own my own restaurant. I've worked for other celebrity chefs, and this was an opportunity to kind of put all those experiences together and work for David Burke, who I think is imaginative beyond belief. And my role will just be to help him to grow his empire here that he's starting, and just to help him to be consistent.
Now David's brother Robert is going to continue to be the executive chef here, right?
Correct. Robert will continue to be the executive chef here.
Now, last year you brought in Stuart Marks, who worked for David at one other time, and as the executive pastry chef, and all indications are that that's been a great success.
Yeah, Stuart and David have a long history together. Stuart knows what David likes. They have a great partnership, and he continues to put out quality desserts here and in other restaurants of David's.
So what do you think the appeal is of the Drifthouse?
The appeal of the Drifthouse, it's hard to beat the location. You've got the view of the ocean right here outside the windows while you're sitting here dining. You can sit out on the patio al fresco. But aside from that, you've got the fireplace burning in the gallery, which adds a ton of ambiance. You've got the bar, you've got the tiki bar, you've got the club here, and you've got guys like David Burke and myself here that are putting out just really high quality food.
So speaking of food, what's your favorite menu item?
I have several favorites on this menu. You can't forget about the clothesline bacon. David Burke, his bacon is to die for. But then the salt-aged beef, his patented Himalayan salt-aged beef. They get 40 days of dry age on it. The environment which they aged the beef in is just perfect. You get the flavor from the salt. You can't get a better steak here on the Jersey Shore.
So tell me about the new lobster and oyster tanks.
We recently had a lobster and oyster tank installed here at the Drifthouse. The oyster tank holds up to 300 different oysters at a time. We try to have 3 different varieties, so you're getting the freshest, highest quality oysters again on the Jersey Shore. The lobster tank holds up to 100 pounds of lobsters. We always have 1.5 pounders, 2 pounders, 3 pounders, 5 pounders. So you're able to get fresh Maine lobster straight from the tank, cooked however you'd like it, steamed, broiled. You can get David's famous angry lobster. We do a crab meat stuffed lobster. Just really, really great fresh seafood to go along with that really great Himalayan salt-aged dry-aged beef. It's perfect.
So you've been in the business for a while. What's your most memorable meal?
I've been in the business now more than 20 years. I've had a lot of memorable meals. I'd say the most memorable would have to be Blue Hill at Stone Barns. It was 26 courses, 5 hours. The freshness of the food, the way it was presented, the quality of service, the wines, it was remarkable. But with every experience like that, a chef like myself takes a lot out of it, And I try to incorporate that experience into what I do in a kitchen now, to try and find different ways to present the food, make sure that the staff is trained on what they're serving so that they can talk about the food, educate, with knowledge, and that's what I intend to do here at the Drifthouse, impart that.
So after a 5-hour meal, were you able to walk out of there?
Wow. I tell you what, the way that they pace the food out, you definitely feel full at the end, but it's a good full. It's not that, heavy, not able to walk type of a full.
3 people you'd like to have dinner with, dead or alive?
3 people I'd like to have dinner with, dead or alive. Wow, that is a tough question. I think there's probably a number of chefs that I'd like to have dinner with just to get their, just to hear the way they think, the way they look at food. One would be Anthony Bourdain. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting him while he was alive, but to sit down and talk with him about food, I really think that would be a remarkable experience. Next, I'd probably have to go with Alain Ducasse. He's alive, I might get that opportunity in my lifetime. I really would love to get into the head of a guy like him, he's still alive. Otherwise, I might say Paul Bocuse, which, I really wish I would have gotten to meet him. But last but not least, I'd have to say my father. To get to sit with him one more time and have a meal and be able to talk about food and where I came in my career, I think it would really bring everything full circle for me at this point in my career.
So last meal, what's on the menu?
Last meal, what's on the menu? I was a seafood chef in a seafood restaurant in San Diego. I owned an Italian restaurant. I ran multiple steakhouses throughout my career. I think you'd have to have oysters, probably as an amuse, maybe a scallop crudo from Point Pleasant or, somewhere from the Northeast. A chilled lobster dish, probably with caviar, duck. I love duck. Duck 2 ways with seasonal fruit, maybe a gastrique of some kind. Right into Wagyu beef, probably. Maybe even a beef duo with a Wagyu and a prime dry aged steak, something like what we do here with the 40-day drying. Dessert, oh man, that's a really tough thing to choose from. But I think I would have to go with one of my all-time favorites, which is creme brulee. I know it might be a little bit cliche in a way because everybody has creme brulee, but if I'm gonna sit down and eat dessert, the crunch of the sugar on top when it's made the right way, give me something unexpected like passion fruit or fresh peach in there. Serve it with a nice cookie, a nice glass of wine, and I'm all set.
You're gonna go out full.
Yeah, that would be the meal.
Matt, thank you and good luck in your new career here.
Thank you, Jim.